us moving in with the parents and opening up a cafe together, all of us.
You think you know the ultimate reality television love story, but the truth hiding in the shadows is more terrifying than fiction. For years, viewers watched a young man from India and an older American woman fight off family rejection, societal judgment, and endless drama just to be together. They convinced the entire world that their bond was bulletproof and that age was simply a number. But there is a massive difference between what the cameras show and the dark, twisted reality that happens behind closed doors once the producers pack up and leave. Recently, an absolutely chilling rumor started blowing up on TikTok and Instagram, exposing a completely different side of this so-called fairy tale. What started as a tragic medical emergency has allegedly spiraled into one of the most ruthless betrayals in television history. We are talking about severe deception, secret lives, and a staggering amount of money being siphoned away in the dark. Before we dive deep into this rabbit hole and uncover the disturbing truth, if you want to stay updated on all the shocking secrets behind your favorite reality stars, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. You really do not want to miss how this nightmare unfolds. There has been a massive buzz online recently concerning a sudden and heartbreaking decline in Jenny's health. Reports and viral social media threads claim that she was suddenly struck by a devastating neurological condition, specifically something mirroring the terrifying effects of ALS. For those unfamiliar, this is a merciless illness that slowly strips away a person's ability to move. It is essentially a creeping paralysis where the body becomes a heavy, immovable shell. But here is the most agonizing part of it all. The mind remains perfectly intact. The person inside is fully awake, fully aware, but entirely trapped, unable to speak, walk, or even raise a hand in protest. When this tragic news first hit the rumor mill, fans across the globe were instantly heartbroken. And right on cue, Sumit appeared on social media. He posted a deeply emotional, tear-filled video pleading with the public. He laid out the terrifying reality of his wife's condition and immediately launched a crowdfunding campaign, asking the world to help save the woman he sacrificed everything for. Fans rushed to help, pouring their hard-earned money into his account. Within days, that fund skyrocketed past its goal, reportedly hitting a staggering $96,000. But that wasn't the whole story. Almost immediately after the massive sum of money hit the account, the narrative took a very strange and dark turn. Sumit had successfully rallied the internet, playing the role of the devoted, heartbroken husband to perfection. But by crowdsourcing his wife's medical care, he inadvertently set a massive trap for himself. He placed his life under a global microscope. Internet sleuths, TikTok commentators, and deeply concerned fans began waiting for updates. They expected to see receipts from top-tier neurologists, videos of expensive physical therapy, or at least updates on which specialists were being consulted with that mountain of cash. Instead, there was deafening silence on the medical front. Rumors suggest that not a single dime of that $96,000 was actually going toward her treatment. People on Instagram began pointing out the glaring contradictions in his daily behavior. If you have nearly $100,000 sitting in the bank specifically for life-saving care, why is the patient mysteriously absent from any medical setting? Why are there no nurses? Why is the house eerily quiet? The trap he set for the public had suddenly snapped shut on his own ankle. He had the money, but he was completely paralyzed by his own alleged greed, entirely unable to keep up the facade of the grieving caretaker while secretly plotting his next financial move. And what happened next would shock everyone. The stakes escalated from mere internet suspicion to alleged real-world financial manipulation. While his wife lay deteriorating in a silent room, reports claim Sumit was busy mapping out a brand new future, one that completely excluded the woman who made him famous. Whispers from local sources started surfacing on TikTok, claiming he was frequently spotted in a busy, high-end commercial district in his city. He wasn't there picking up prescriptions or desperately consulting with doctors. It has been heavily speculated that he was actively negotiating a massive lease to expand his personal business. He was allegedly using the immense influx of donated medical cash as his own personal venture capital fund. The absolute audacity to leverage a spouse's terminal decline for commercial real estate is mind-boggling. But the alleged betrayal did not stop at financial greed. It bled into something far more sinister and deeply personal. While leveraging the sympathy of the public, rumors strongly suggest that he began stepping out, using his newfound financial freedom to entertain a much younger woman. He was reportedly laying the groundwork for a completely new life, a new business, and a new marriage, all funded by the tears of fans who thought they were paying to save a life. The double bind he created was suffocating. If he spent the money on his wife, his new empire would crumble, but by keeping it, he was sealing his own fate as a fraud. Imagine the sheer psychological torture of this concrete reality. This is the detail that has left fans absolutely sick to their stomachs. Because of the specific nature of her alleged illness, Jenny's cognitive functions are completely untouched. She is entirely lucid. She processes every sound, every conversation, and every hushed phone call that happens in their home. It is reported that she lies entirely immobilized in her bed, a forced spectator to her own replacement. She can allegedly hear the negotiations for the new shop lease happening right in the next room. Worse yet, speculation suggests she can hear the whispered conversations with the new, younger woman. She understands exactly what is happening. She knows the money raised in her name has been hijacked. She sees the abrupt shift in his demeanor, the cold negligence replacing the warm affection he once paraded on television. Yet, because her physical form has failed her, she cannot scream. She cannot pick up a phone to expose him. She cannot even turn her head to confront the man who promised to love her through sickness and health. She is a prisoner in her own home, silently drowning in the ultimate betrayal, watching the man she fought the world for build a lavish new life on the foundation of her tragic decline. But to truly understand how a seemingly devoted husband could allegedly commit such a cold-blooded betrayal, you have to look past the heavily edited reality TV narrative and examine the glaring red flags that were there from the very beginning. TikTok psychologists and body language experts have been having an absolute field day ripping apart old footage of the couple, and when you piece it all together, a chilling behavioral pattern emerges. This alleged deception is not some sudden, out-of-character anomaly. It is the ultimate escalation of a deeply ingrained character flaw. If you rewind to the very start of their relationship, you will remember that it was entirely built on a foundation of lies. He originally catfished her, presenting himself online as an entirely different person named Michael Jones. When the pressure got too high in his personal life, his default psychological setting was always evasion, manipulation, and living a double life. Fans are now pointing out that he kept a whole secret arranged marriage hidden from her while she was literally living in his country, isolating herself from everyone she knew. He has a documented history of running away from difficult realities rather than facing them head-on. Now, faced with the grueling, unglamorous, and terrifying reality of becoming a full-time caregiver to a terminally ill spouse, that same core behavioral flaw has reportedly taken over completely. Only this time, instead of just catfishing a woman on the internet or lying to his conservative parents, he is allegedly catfishing the entire world, hiding behind the digital mask of a grieving husband while secretly running away from his responsibilities and leaving his vulnerable wife in the dust. As the whispers of this alleged double life began to spread across social media, the internet started demanding answers. People who had generously donated their savings to that massive crowdfunding campaign wanted receipts. They wanted to know the names of the neurologists being consulted. They wanted to see the home renovations required for a paralyzed patient, and they wanted transparency. Rumors suggest that Sumit realized the walls were closing in, so he attempted what can only be described as the most disastrous damage control in recent memory. Reports claim he uploaded a second, highly calculated video update designed to silence the critics and tug at their heartstrings once more. But this emotional appeal failed spectacularly. In fact, it backfired so badly that it practically confirmed everyone's worst suspicions. Viewers immediately tore the video apart, frame by frame. Instead of appearing as an exhausted, sleep-deprived caregiver running on fumes, he reportedly looked impeccably groomed. TikTok sleuths were quick to point out a suspiciously expensive new watch on his wrist and fresh designer clothing that sharply contrasted with his pleas for continued financial support. Even more damning was the setting of the video. He was not filming from a modified bedroom or a clinical setting. The background reportedly looked like a pristine, newly renovated office space, further fueling the rumors that he was funneling the medical funds into his commercial real estate ventures. He used empty buzzwords, asking the public to respect their privacy during a difficult season, completely dodging the direct questions about the money. The tears looked forced, the script felt incredibly rehearsed, and the utter lack of authenticity was blinding. He tried to play the victim, but the internet instantly saw right through the performance, turning the tide of public opinion from deep sympathy to overwhelming outrage. What makes this entire situation so incredibly hard to swallow is the absolute, staggering hypocrisy of it all. For multiple seasons, this couple sold the world a very specific narrative. Love conquers all. They became the poster children for defying the odds. We watched them battle intense cultural boundaries, vicious societal judgment, and a massive age gap that made them the target of endless online ridicule. We watched him stand up to his deeply traditional family, famously fighting back against his own mother, who went to extreme, dramatic lengths to stop their union. He played the role of the modern-day Romeo, willing to sacrifice his family ties, his reputation in his community, and his cultural standing, all for the supposed love of his life. Jenny gave up her home in America, sacrificed her financial security, and moved across the world to a place where she was entirely alienated, trusting that his love was genuine. But the thematic hypocrisy of this current rumored situation completely shatters that fairy tale. It suggests that the profound, unconditional love he fought so aggressively to defend on television completely evaporated the very second it demanded actual, untelevised sacrifice. It forces viewers to ask a deeply uncomfortable question. Was he ever really in love with her, or was he just in love with the rebellion, the television cameras, and the fame that came with it? The moment the reality TV cameras stopped rolling and the harsh reality of sickness and health truly began, he allegedly abandoned the vows he fought so hard to make. The fairy tale of forbidden love has violently twisted into a dark, cautionary tale about the immense dangers of giving up your entire world for someone who might just be playing a character. The true horror of this situation isn't just the alleged financial theft, it is the profound, suffocating isolation that has rapidly closed in on Jenny. To fully grasp the nightmare she is reportedly living, you have to think about her geographical reality right now. She is thousands of miles away from her daughters, her lifelong friends, and the safety net of the American healthcare system. When she moved across the world, she essentially burned every bridge she had back home, putting her entire existence, her safety, and her future completely into Sumit's hands. Now, rumors suggest that because her debilitating condition requires intensive, round-the-clock care that he refuses to pay for, she has been quietly hidden away in a neglected back room of their home, entirely cut off from the outside world. Her physical paralysis is now tragically mirrored by a terrifying social paralysis. There are no surprise visits from friendly neighbors or wellness checks from a local community that never fully accepted her presence to begin with. Sumit's traditional family, who famously and viciously despised her on national television, is reportedly turning a blind eye to the entire situation. In fact, some dark reports circulating on TikTok claim his family might actually be encouraging his new, secret relationship, viewing Jenny's tragic illness not as a family emergency, but as a cruel yet convenient loophole for their son to finally have a proper marriage and a family of his own. Sumit himself has allegedly built an impenetrable fortress of isolation around their house, severely restricting any video calls between Jenny and her frantic daughters back in the States. He reportedly cites her extreme fatigue and fragile emotional state as an excuse for the silence, but fans deeply speculate it is actually a highly calculated move. It prevents her family from seeing the horrific, unmedical living conditions and realizing that the massive mountain of crowdfunding money is completely gone. She is entirely marooned in a foreign country, trapped inside a failing body, and locked under the absolute control of a man who is allegedly just waiting for her to silently fade out of his life. We have officially reached the point of no return in what might go down as the darkest, most disturbing chapter in reality television history. If these explosive rumors hold even a single ounce of truth, Sumit has crossed a terrifying moral boundary from which he can never, ever come back. The internet is relentless, and digital footprints are completely permanent. The outraged fans who unknowingly funded his alleged commercial real estate empire are now actively mobilizing against him. There are massive online campaigns forming overnight, with people tagging local authorities, crowdfunding watchdogs, and international fraud agencies, loudly demanding a full forensic financial investigation into where every single dollar of that $96,000 went. Even if he tries to desperately pivot now, frantically hiring a cheap nurse for a day or staging a brand new, highly scripted sympathetic photo op to calm the masses, the illusion is completely shattered. The carefully curated mask has slipped permanently, revealing a chilling portrait of ultimate self-sabotage. He traded the genuine love, respect, and financial support of millions for a quick cash grab and a secret affair. The very social media platform that elevated him from a quiet, obscure life in India to global, lucrative stardom is now the exact weapon rapidly dismantling his entire existence. He truly thought he could outsmart the public, manipulating their deep empathy to silently fund his selfish desires, but he severely underestimated the watchful, unforgiving eye of the internet. The beautiful fairy tale is dead, replaced by a grim, terrifying reality where the ultimate villain was never his overbearing mother or harsh societal judgment, but the very man who looked into the camera and promised to protect her from it all. It leaves you wondering how many other picture-perfect reality TV romances are just perfectly curated illusions, hiding absolute monsters behind closed doors. What do you think about these shocking allegations? Do you believe Sumit was playing a brilliant long con from the very beginning of their relationship, or did the sudden, intense pressure of a devastating illness and a massive pile of untraceable cash simply corrupt him? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear all of your theories on this heartbreaking situation. If you find this deep dive eye-opening and want to stay ahead of all the craziest reality TV secrets, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out when we expose the hidden truths they try to keep off the screen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next breakdown.